Hi, in this video tutorial, we'll see how to create a ALV report. This will be a very basic ALV report, like for the purchase order details. So based on the selection criteria given, we display some field of the purchase order header, line item, and we'll also display the vendor item. So table I'm going to use in this program is EKKO for the purchase order header, EKPO for line item, and LF1 for the vendor master. So as you know, the typical structure of a ALV report is like we have a selection screen, and based on the selection criteria, we select the data from single or multiple table, and finally all the data move to a final internal table, and the output report is displayed. So we'll create the ALV report. So for that, first go to AC38, Z demo PO report, give a meaningful program name, click on create, purchase order details, select the executable program, save, give the package name, click on save button, click in the existing request. Now what we'll do, we'll first create the final output table. Okay, here first mention the table name which we are going to use in our report, EKKO, let's say EKPO. Types, begin of TP underscore list, end of TP underscore list. Here we are creating output structure for the output table. So we'll add some field from the EKKO table. Let's say purchase order number, A date, ERN, and some field from the line item table. So I already created one small program, so I will just copy all the field names. So what basically we have to do in the output structure, we have to include all the fields which we want to display in the output. So here add one additional parameter as cell. I will show why I'm using this cell in my output table. So I'm selecting from the header table EBELN, BSART, ADATE, ARNM, listener. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm selecting from the EKKO table. Then from the LFA1, from the vendor master, I will be displaying the vendor name. And from the purchase order item table, it is EKPO. I'm selecting EBLP, material description, MATNAR, MENG, means net PR and net WR. So this is how I created a structure. So first define an internal table and work area for that, data GT underscore list, type standard table of TP underscore list, work area GS underscore list, type TP underscore list. Let's define internal table for LFA1, GT underscore LFA1, type standard table of LFA1, and work area for the same. So like this we have created the final, we have created an internal table for the output table, which underscore list. We have declared the data for the GT underscore list in LFA1. Now design a selection screen. So how selection screen is created? Selection screen, begin of block B1 with frame title text 001, selection screen, end of block B1. So here add the parameter, select options. So I will be selecting s underscore ebln for ekko ebln. On the selection screen we have to mention the parameters based on which our data will be fetched. Second, I'm going to add here the purchase order date, that is nothing but z sorry AE date. You can see here this field I'm going to use AE date and BSART. Those three fields we'll be using on the selection screen. For EKKO AE date and add one more BSART for EKKO BSART. Save, check and activate. Now go to the, now if you execute this, so you can just selection screen is appearing. So this is the purchase order number, this is the creation date, and this is document type. Now we can see here the field name is coming, so we will assign some label to it. Go to text element, selection text. Here if you want to apply the label from the database dictionary, just click here and press enter. So automatically as per the data element the description will come, created on purchase document type, purchase or purchasing document. And if you want to provide your own name, remove this checkbox and you can add in name here, like say PO creation date. Check and activate, save and activate, go back. Now we'll select the data from the database. So start of selection, write down end of selection. So first we'll add our routine as perform get data. Save, double click on this, click yes. In the same program, now what we'll do, based on the selection criteria given, we'll select data from first we'll select it from EKKO and EKPO table. So write the select query here. I'll pass from my existing program. So what I'm doing here, I'm selecting EBLN from A, BSART, AE-date, ERNUM and Liftner. Liftner is nothing but a vendor name. And from the item table, that is B, I'm selecting EBLP, TXZ, MATNAR, MANG, etc. From EKKO as A, inner join EKPO as B. So my main table will be the EKKO. And I'm selecting the inner join based on the purchase order number. You can see here. Now, and the BS type, I'm using only purchase order. If you see, if you go to table, here the BS type is there. So F means it is a purchase order. It is K means contract. So as I'm making the report for purchase order, so I'm selecting here F. EBLN I again the selection screen, and I don't have ERNUM on the screen, so temporarily I will remove it. Save, check, activate. So what I've done here, based on the selection criteria given, I'm selecting data from EKQ and EKPO table. Now let's select the vendor name. For that, first we have to check whether this table is initial or not. So if GT underscore list body is not initial, then do this. So what you are doing, if not initial means if data is there in this table, then only execute this block. So what we'll do, we'll select a vendor name. For the vendor name, the table is LFA1. This is the table. Here in the listener, we have to pass the vendor ID from this table. As we already selected a listener from the EKK table that will pass here. So what we'll do, select all from LFA1 into corresponding fields of table GT underscore LFA1 for all entries in GT underscore list, where listener equal to GT underscore list listener. So what this for all entries do basically, suppose we have 10 records in the GT underscore list table, okay, but in the 10 different purchase order we have only 5 different vendors. So here we'll get only 5 vendors, unique vendors. Save, check and activate. So what is the next steps of the ALV report? Based on the selection screen, we have selected data from the single and multiple table, and finally we have to build data. That means all the data which we want to display on the output, that is to be moved in a final internal table. So as for that, we have already created GT underscore list. So what we'll do, see, we might have multiple select query here. Here for demo purpose, I have selected data from only 2 tables, but in real time you might require to select data from multiple tables, 2, 3, 5, n number of tables. Okay, so finally move all the data to a final table. Perform build data. Double click on this, create. We could have done all in one step also. Okay, just for a demo purpose, I have selected different, I have entered different query. Okay, we can also make an inner join based on EKQ and LFA1. Now what we have to do, loop at GT underscore list into GS underscore list and loop. Always clear the work area at the end. GS underscore LFA1. So what we have to do, read table GT underscore LFA1. What we are doing, we are selecting the vendor name from the LFA1 table and we are showing adding in the GS underscore list. Read table GT underscore LFA1 into GS underscore LFA1 with key listener equal to GS underscore list listener. So when the loop get executed, so in the GS underscore list field we will be having the vendor ID. So for this vendor ID, by selecting the vendor name from GT underscore LFA1 table into the work area of LFA1. So what we'll do here, GS underscore list name 1. For the vendor name, we have to fill as name 1. Okay. So we will assign the vendor name from the LFA1 table to our output table. Modify GT underscore list from GS underscore list transporting name 1, because I'm modifying only the name, I'm adding only the name, that's why I'm adding this syntax here as transporting. So we have added the vendor name from this table and we modify the table. Now what is the next step? Report output. Okay, so for that we'll be using the reuse underscore LV for the output purpose. So first do some data declaration for the output. So we have to we will be using the LVC underscore T underscore FCAT for the field catalog. So I'm just copying this all. So do a data declaration like this. Declare one field catalog table type LVS underscore field catalog, one work area, and declare one layout gs underscore layout of type LVC underscore s underscore layout. Declare one variant. This is not required, but just declare, and take our count field. Okay, now what we'll do, perform display underscore data. So we have all our data in the internal table gt underscore list. Double click on this, click yes. Now we have to, I will explain one by one. So whenever you're displaying the data, always clear the existing field catalog. Sometimes what happen, if we have an interactive report, so if you are navigating from one report to another, then the field catalog get appended. So always clear the field catalog table at the initial stage. Okay, now this is the column width optimize equal to x. So what this do, as for each field there is a different length. Okay, like purchase order number is of length 10, the matter is of length 18. Okay, so what this does actually, based on the value in that column, system automatically adjusts the column length. Okay, that's why we have to add column width optimize, and in the gs underscore variant we have to pass the report id, that is rep id. In this program we are not using cell style and color, yeah, but we'll be using the box name and the layout box name as cell, as I have declared one field as cell. I will show you in the output what is the use of this cell. So what we have done, the layout parameter column width we have set to x, the layout box field name we have set as cell. Always use capital letter. If you're using the small letter, the repeat will not come proper. Okay, now add all the field name, the gs underscore field catalog, the column position, on which position you want to display the purchase order number, that is count 1. Then this is the field name from our internal table, and what text we want to display, that is the PO number. And emphasize this is used for color. I'm commenting this, so I'm using only the position number, field name, and the field label. Okay, so like this, add all the fields which you want to display on the report output. So what I will do, I'll copy all from here. So I'm displaying all the fields in my output, like purchase order number, PO date, ER num, who has created the report, the BSART. Like this, I'm displaying all the data in the output. Okay, so here after the vendor name, we have to display the vendor. After the vendor code, we have to display the vendor name. So here add vendor name as name1, that is the vendor name. Remove this no zero. Initially I am commenting also this one. I will show the impact of this in the output. Now what we have done, we have developed the field catalog. Now for the output table, to display the output table, we are going to use the function module reuse underscore alv underscore grid underscore display. So copy this, go to pattern, in the call function enter the function model name, enter the function model name. So we can see all the importing and exporting parameter of the function models. So there are a lot of parameters are there, but we'll be using the minimum which are required. Like we are going to use the callback program as report ID. User command we are not using in this program, as this is a basic report. This is also we are not using. So we have to pass the report ID, we have to pass the layout, we have to pass the field catalog, which contain what are the columns to be displayed, and variant, and important is our output table, gt underscore list, which want to display. So I'm just copying this here. So each parameter which we want to output, we have to uncomment this. Then we can add the required ID here, like this. Okay, so I have already in my program, so I'm just copying from there. Here I'm not going to use user commands. I'm commenting this. I'm also commenting top page and also event. So what I'm passing? I'm passing the program name, I'm passing the layout, I'm passing the field catalog, which is nothing but which contain the field name and the field label, and I'm passing my internal table. And for the variant, the, in this I enter save pass a, I will show what is the impact of this a. Now save, check, and activate. Execute the report. Enter some date. Let's say 29/11/2017 to 31st December 2018, because this is my development server. So I have some old data. Execute a report. So you can see the output of the report based on the selection criteria which is given. You can see the output: purchase order number, PO date, ER num, who has created, purchase document type, the vendor code, the vendor name. Okay, now as I told you, I have used one additional field as the cell, I use, and this cell where I pass in the box field name. That field name I pass here, the layout box field name. Because of that, in the output report we can see one additional column, this. So by this way we can highlight a particular row. So that's why I use that select cell column. Okay, and now we can see the vendor ID here is 103200, but here we are also seeing the additional 0. So if you don't want to see the leading 0, so what we have to do, in that particular column, just append one field, no underscore 0 equal to x, to the field catalog. 7, activate, again execute. Now we can see only the actual number is displayed, that leading 0 is not there. Okay, so in this way what we have done, first we have created a selection screen. First we have decided what what fields we are requiring to output. Based on that we have created output structure. Then we have created an internal table. After that we have created a selection screen. Then we have selected the data from the database table. Finally all the data is moved to the final internal table, and the data is displayed. Now as we have created this report, okay, but for the end user we cannot give the access of AC38. So for this report we have to assign a transaction code. So for that, go to AC38 code, AC93, go to transaction code AC93. Here give the transaction code as zdemo underscore ALV. Click on create button, give the description like purchase order report. Select the second radio button, report transaction, press enter. Here in the program, give your program name, select all those 3 checkbox. click on save button, give the package name and save in our existing request. So what we have done, first we created a report, then we have assigned a transaction code. Now this transaction code the user can access. The from the basis person you have to give authorization of this report or test this report. So we can see that our report is getting executed here. So as this was the very first report, so I not use any events. Okay, I not use I not make it made as interactive. This is a very basic report. Okay, so in the second so what you have done, you have created a program and we have assigned a transaction code. So in the second session, in the second video, what we'll do, we'll add some events in the existing report. We'll try to add multiple events like initialization. So what are different events out there that we are going to show in the second training session. So you can do the practice for this report. Thank you.